Charlie Austin, where do we even begin this Manchester United conversation? Is this an all-time low when you talk about that football club?
I think it is. I think it's an all-time low. I think you can't take anything away from Grimsby. Last night they were fantastic and deserved to win in 90 minutes. But the Manchester United team, brand, whatever's going on, they are a laughing stock. At the moment, did we think it could get any worse? No, it certainly did last night. And as you look at it from the outside in, they are a club going absolutely nowhere. They really are going nowhere. Nobody looks like they're playing for the manager. The manager looks like the players that he's putting out there, he doesn't really believe in. He gets the clipboard out, etc. I used to do that when I coached the under-8s, let alone Manchester United. So I think from the outside in, it looks an absolute disgrace.
And I guess the worrying thing for Manchester United fans, and we're going to speak to them very, very shortly, man for man, a team, all right, doing well in League Two, up there, you know, top four in League Two. League Two, the fourth tier of English football. They matched them man for man, starting 11 for starting 11, sub for sub.
League Two, fourth and League Two, respectfully, the professional outfit, that is the scenario. But that's why we like cup competitions, right? But also, 100% effort, that's what you're expecting. Grimsby gave 150%, 200 to a man last night. Can you say that about any of the Man United team? No, they really didn't. And then if Man United do that, you ultimately think the talent's going to prevail. Last night, they didn't do any of it, and they got what they deserved. They actually deserved to get beat 3-0, and I don't understand why the third goal didn't count. But they deserved to get 3-0, the tie would have been done. Didn't need penalties. But Man United are in a real pickle.
So Sky Sports have partnered, as you know, with fanalists and app where passionate fans share their opinions on their club. And if you want to represent your club, you can do that. Scan the QR code or visit the Sky Sports app for more details. And we can speak to Flex, Manchester United supporter. Flex, a very good morning to you, mate. Charlie Austin has said it's an absolute shambles at your football club. Do you agree with it? And where now is the anger? Are you still defending Ruben Amorim?
Well, first of all, you can't disagree with anything Charlie says, as much as he always wants to stick the boot in on United. He's absolutely right on this occasion, Charlie. I've seen you a few times in the offices and we try and have a little bit of a laugh, but there's no time for laughing this morning, and it's time to just face the music and not bury our heads
for Man
in the
United,
sand. So he's absolutely right.
Flex, for Man United fans, everyone associated with Manchester United, it's not time for laughing, but I think from the outside it's more amusing.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Looking at it. As I look at it last night from a player perspective, I just don't know what they're actually doing. Everyone can say, the 3-4-3 formation doesn't work. It won't work in England. Well, let's go back. Chelsea won Premier League with 3-4-3. Yes, with different players, but they won the league with it. Man United as a whole, the goalkeeper situation, the midfield, the formation, the manager, whatever it is a laughing stock. From the outside in, it looks an absolute laughing stock, and I don't see how it's going to move forward. You've just lost in the second round of the League Cup to Grimsby. Now, where do actually Manchester United go from here? Is it too early to sack the manager? Like, you had 2 windows. It's well known that it's 29 games, 28 points. We're talking about Manchester United. Now, we can go on about how big they are globally and they're a massive brand, etc., etc. But at the moment, in England, they are not. They are anything but a top side.
Man United are not feared. They're not respected. And they're not taken seriously, both on and off the pitch. I watched my team have 3 centre-halves on the pitch yesterday against a League Two opposition. Even Grimsby, in all fairness to them, had 4 centre-backs. They went with a back 4. They said, we don't need to have a back 5. We don't need to have a back 6 out of possession because we're going to have to be clearing the ball long and having a hard night's work. They played their game. And I even heard in comms, that's not even their starting team. They made subs. They rested players because Man United had come into town. One of the geezers, the penalty, he only signed yesterday. No. So that shows you how the lack of respect for Man United.
Flex. You're saying they're not feared. I mean, Manchester United haven't been feared since 2013.
Absolutely not. But this is new lows. This is new lows.
Yeah.
The problem that you've got after yesterday is that Manchester United look like that in the Premier League. That's how Man United play in the Premier League. That's how they get outdone in the Premier League. And in terms of the players, listen, I said before the game that it doesn't matter what formation you set up with, it doesn't matter what players you put out on that pitch, with all the greatest respect to Grimsby Town, they should be beating them. Like, just from a professional perspective, they should be beating them.
If they give 100%, if they give 100%,
if they turn up 100%, you don't have a divine right to win games.
Flex, worryingly, a lot of those were giving 100%.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't think they were. I don't think they were, to be honest with you. First of all, the application was poor. They were second in duels. They weren't finding their men. Loose touches, baggy touches, no pass appreciation, giving the ball away stupidly. I don't think they were given 100% concentration. I think they did actually think that they could turn up there and win that football match. Now, to the manager, guys, here's the thing. Man United fans, some Man United fans, are acting like last season didn't happen. You don't get to finish 15th in the manner that they did and get told that the good times are coming, the storm is over, we need more time on the training pitch, we need a pre-season, and spend over £200 million on new players. And the first 3 games of the new season, you've lost 2. Yeah, you've lost 2 and drawn 1. 1 against the 4th tier of the English pyramid. So the pressure is absolutely on Ruben Amorim. And if you don't believe me, if fans want to do this, bury their head in the thing and say, oh, we can't keep sacking managers, we can't be having this process. Look at the manager. Ruben Amorim, this isn't the first time he's basically offered up his job.
Well, look,
I was there in Bilbao in the press conference. He said,
great
I'm
time
going to walk.
Great time, yeah, exactly. But great time to bring this in because for those who haven't heard this is Ruben Amorim post-match after that defeat against, as Flex says, 4th tier Grimsby Town. This is what he said.
I think that the team and the players spoke really loud today. I think it's really clear what they spoke. So, and it's hard to explain. That's why I think they spoke really loud. I think they spoke a little. I think they gave the response. My players spoke for me really loud.
They spoke really loud for me, guys. Flex, Charlie, I mean, he's thrown them under the bus, the trailer, every carriage of the train, hasn't he?
That's fine for me. I take that as he's saying the players spoke for me. That's saying that they don't trust me. They don't believe what I'm doing. They don't believe my tactics. They don't believe what I'm doing on the training pitch when we come to match days, etc. That's how he's saying. There's no punches pulled there. That's coming from the manager, getting off his chest, saying them players are not playing for me. That's about it. It's all right saying, oh, we spoke. No, they're not. And the performances, Flex, Premier League, League Cup, they're not playing for him. I don't care. New players, old players, ones that's been thrown to the side. They are not playing for him. And also, let's not even get away from the fact we can all blame Onana and say this, that and the other, but we know that's a scenario. But if I spend £74 million on a centre-forward and he takes the 10th penalty, surely there's questions to be asked also.
Flex, what's all that about?
I said that at the time. Fellas. These penalties are going on. I'm going, where's Benjamin Sesko? Where is he? Why is he not taking a pen? Why is he waiting till now? Now, yes, he dispatched his pen, but you're a forward, Charlie. That shows a complete lack of confidence in yourself. Yeah. The manager hasn't played him in the first 2 games. He hasn't got a feel for what's going on. That was his first start.
Flex, can we have a look at him again? He looks as crushed as Rasmus Højlund looks. And when Rasmus Højlund arrived, he was the fresh young talent on the scene from Atalanta, banging in goals. He looks like he's finished.
Yeah, exactly. He looked like he didn't want to be there. And listen, I'm not going to blame him. He ended up taking his penalty. But Man United is not an environment now that's going to make you feel confident.
So Flex, who's crushing these people? Because it's not just down to one manager. This has been repetition.
Of course it's not. Manchester United is corroded as a football club. It's like a bad tooth. It's just been left to decay and it needs one of the biggest root canals you could ever imagine. And that is down to the Glazers. But I'll be honest, guys. You can't. What we can't do. The Glazers are a massive problem at Manchester United. At the top, they've allowed.
But that's only one thing, though, Flex.
That's only one thing. Yeah. When you cross that white line and you're the manager, it's not good enough to blame this, to blame that. There's no excuses. There's nowhere to hide. This is your system. You are wedded to these principles, and when you don't get the results, you don't get to just say we need to have a march against Glazers or we need to have that.
Yeah, but
all of those
Flex,
things are true.
Some of this chat is just nonsense. I mean, look, it's all well. The Glazers, great. Your yellow and your green scarves. I get it. You're a proud football club. You spent 200 million quid on a front 3, Charlie. That, let's face it. I mean, if you offered Pep, Mbomo, Šeško, and Cunha, they'd get on City's bench. They'd be in the squad. They are 3 talented players. And they might just fix you and get you over the line so you don't go down this season, Flex. You've spent a lot of money. You spent too much money. You spent it on the wrong people. Those players you brought in there are 3 players that anyone in Europe would have taken. And you still perform like that. And the reason that a lot of Manchester United fans defend Ruben Amorim is because, he's a great communicator. Charlie's grand's a great communicator. She doesn't get the Manchester United job. There's so much blind faith and hope on something because you're holding on to something. You want him to be the person. And maybe today you're starting to realise that he's not that guy.
I am not one of these fans that want to call for managers' heads as soon as the tough gets going a little bit and it gets a little bit difficult and you experience some adversity. It needs time to build. But you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot allow this to happen. You can't. He's sitting there.
Flex.
He's sitting there. He can't look at us play football. He can't look at us take penalties. He can't look at us defend corners. You can't sit there and act like it's not on the manager. You can't. These are his principles. And it's not working.
See this bit here, the picture that speaks 1,000 words,
Sorry,
don't
Charlie,
it?
why is he not watching the penalty?
But I don't understand that, why he's not. There's no face, like, oh, it's gone. I think it's more of, regardless, if Man United win, go through, like, that's it. The players have spoken.
Is still done.
He is basically... He's come out and said they're not playing for me. That's basically what he has said.
That's such a bad look to not be able to watch your own.
But Will, you know when we're going on about, we're saying, listen, that needs time, you need time to build it in. You're the Manchester United manager. I'm sorry, mate, you don't have time. He's had 2 transfer windows. You just spent 200 million at the top end of the pitch. You've got 0 points. You go to Burnley at the weekend. You don't win. You go international break. Big problem. 0 points. Even if you draw...
He's already said it. He said we'll get to the international break,
but half them
and
players
we'll
are
make
going,
decisions then.
Half of them players are going to go on international duty, and then he's not going to have them anyway. He's going to wake up this morning. Surely he's waking up this morning expecting the phone call. He is. I know we're 2 Premier League games in.
Gareth Southgate.
But that's the thing about Ineos. I don't even believe that they didn't envisage this to happen, because then the question is, which I'm actually too angry today to even start talking about. But then the question goes to, who next and where do you go?
Flex, whoa.
You can't carry on like that.
That's a conversation we'll have in a minute. But look, you've been sending in your voice notes. Flex, stay there. Let's get your reaction, Charlie's reaction to Mark's voice note. This is what Mark's got to say.
Morning. Oh man, what's going on with this club? What is going on with this club? I mean, Amorim saying the players have spoke again. Well, he sat there looking like he's playing Sabutio in the rain with his head in his hands. What's going on? Is this club become a social experiment? Really?
Charlie,
what is going on? We're a laughing...
Charlie, I want to put that one to you because it's a great voice note. Keep them coming in. You know how to get involved. You scan the QR code. You know the details. Charlie, at any level, right? And you've played at the very, very top, and fair play to you now. You're still playing for Basingstoke Town, right? If your manager at Basingstoke pulled out a Sabutio board, are you taking him seriously?
No, you just laugh. If Daniel Brownlee the manager pulled that out, you'd laugh. Like I said, I pulled that out to my under-8s team. Look, just showing them where to go, the space, etc.
What's he doing?
He's obviously resetting the tactics, but I do that to my under-8s, the kids' football. Look, you are a laughing
By the way,
stock.
he did that flex against Leon. Sorry, Charlie, to interrupt. He did that against Leon, and no one went for him because he scraped through that game. And at the time, everyone thought that was ridiculous.
But you're a laughing stock, Flex. Like that's Manchester United at the moment. There's no other direction like you're going in. It's like the stuck. The whole thing of Manchester United is a place that people go and nobody's coming out of it. People's going and there's picking up the money. Do the top end clubs, Liverpool, Man City, want the players that end up going to Manchester United? No, they don't. No, they don't. And then you look at it, but also, if you have a player like for all what's gone off the field with the Marcus Rashford situation, you don't go and play for Barcelona and be in the starting lineup there. He should walk into Manchester United's team, and don't be surprised if Garnacho goes to Chelsea and performs really well
Chelsea.
there.
No, he will. I don't buy into the fact that he's a terrible player and won't do well at Chelsea.
He plays for Argentina, mate. He's a player that, Flex, you'll be looking back surely in a couple of years' time thinking, hold on, he's got 50 caps for Argentina. He's only 23. He's 21 now. Alanga, we mentioned this with Dara McAntony yesterday. Alanga is exactly the player that you need in that team. He's playing for Newcastle. You let him go for nothing.
Scott McTominay, mate. Scott McTominay's MVP of the whole Serie A. He's got the Ballon d'Or nominee.
Flex, I know we're going hard on Manchester United here, and I'm supposed to balance this out, right? But do you think some of your Manchester United mates and people that watch at Old Trafford week by week, and many of them will be getting in touch, is it too hard? Are they having this same conversation now? Will there still be people standing by him saying, trust the process?
There always is, and you can't tell people how to support the club, and you can't tell them what they should feel. I never believe in that. And there are people that are still saying, look, that was on the players. You've got to understand he needs time. We can't just keep sacking managers. We've had like 7 managers in the last 12 years, etc., etc. So there are still fans who still believe in this manager. I, up until very recently, have tried to be one of those fans that kind of sees the positives, that can kind of see, listen, let's not be knee-jerk, let's not keep changing cycles, let's not keep being in transition. But there comes a point where you can't bury your head in the sand. He's played more games than points at Manchester United. He finished 15th. Now, we talk about a patient fan base, Most of us wanted him to stay, even though he finished 15th, even though people saying don't even give him money to spend. 34 games played. He's won 8.
Well, that's because, Flex, that's because on the pitch at the end of the season, he said the good times are coming. Storm's over,
Exactly.
mate.
So you can't, so what nobody can do is accuse Man United fans of being overreactionary or here they go again. My God, we finished 15th. So, and the fact that there is a continuation of what we're seeing into this season means that last season, there hasn't been a line drawn under it. You don't get to admit yourself that last season happened. So for me, this is only heading one way.
And by the way,
manager has admitted it, and it's only going to head one way.
To be slightly fair to Ruben Amorim, you know, we're dressing it up in that sense. It's 28 points from 29 Premier League games, which is dreadful. I mean, that is a less than a point a game is you're down there. And this season, the fact that the bottom 3 have already won a game and it's match week 2, who knows where this is going to go. But if you included the Europa League, it does look slightly better. Let's get another voice note from another Mark.
It's always talk is not the keeper, so who's the fault then? This man need to gone, man. This man need to get sacked. I need the board them to sack this man right now.
Right now? Is that going to happen? I mean, what conversations will Ineos, will Sir Jim Ratcliffe be having with Omar Barada? What's going on behind the scenes, Flex, this morning?
Well, I hope they're having serious discussions at the fact of how to get out of this mess. And to me, it looks like Ruben can continue no longer. And that's not even just from a fan perspective. He's telling us this.
Yeah, that's his comments.
He's literally telling. That's his comments. It's not.
That's his comments.
It's not us that. It's not us going overboard and getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. If you're the fan of a club and you want to look to your leader, you want to see him say, "That was disgusting. I'm going to put that right." You wait till we play Burnley. That's the first game. We're going to put it right. And we're going to show you against Manchester City and against Chelsea.
But Flex,
that I'm
even
the right
like
guy
on that,
needs the right place.
we go on about putting it right, but you go on about like, superstitions, what everyone has. Last night, for 95 minutes, Manchester United were a shambles, right? So
should have been 3-0 down.
Yeah, but superstition goes out the window.
Robbed.
So do you know what? Go and stand on the sideline. Go and show respect to Grimsby. Dave Artell, fantastic job he's done. Go and own that. Go and own it.
It's like he's hiding.
Yeah, but go and own that. Your team that you've just put out there, that you've picked, have been ridiculous. Have been a shambles. Have been short of everything, everywhere. Every blade of grass across that pitch, they was poor everywhere. And now they're in a situation where they're out the League Cup. He goes hiding. He comes out and blames the players, rightly so on it. But also he said they're not playing for me, and that's his ownership. And if you're part of the ownership group and all that kind of stuff, that's how I'm seeing them messages. He's now saying the players.
You're saying
are
you
not
can't
playing.
fulfil your job description. Your job description is to get players on board and get results. And he's basically saying that I can't do that.
But he's not for the first time, by the way. Yeah, but he's offered his sword before.
This is the third time.
Third time.
But his record's showing that. His record's showing that he can't take this squad and Manchester United forward, even though he spent 200 million.
Let's bring in a poll, guys, because I am honestly really interested to hear from you Manchester United fans watching this morning who think we're chatting absolute nonsense and that this guy is still the man. And come on and tell us. Get in touch with us. Here's the poll. Is he the man? Is he the right man? Well, look. The majority of you there are saying no and agreeing with Flex and agreeing with what Charlie has been saying. Look, you mentioned the Burnley game. Flex, Burnley.
What does it even mean? What does it even mean? What does it even mean?
It means everything.
What does it even
mean? Surely means everything now.
Hey, even if we win that game, I'm telling you now, we're just hoodwinking ourselves into thinking there's going to be some dramatic comeback.
But Flex, if you lose it, you're more likely to lose it. And by the way, after that, and you know what's coming, it's a Manchester derby at the Etihad and then Chelsea at home.
And that's exactly my point. It's got so bad.
Man United Flex could play 5, 0 points.
100%. And this is what I'm talking about. And then there's still going to be fans sort of saying, oh, it's too early. And do what we did last season and we're looking to basically write the season off on the 28th of August. Do you know how ridiculous that is? Write it off now.
Do you know what else is ridiculous, Flex? You know what else is ridiculous? Ten Hag looks like an absolute genius compared to him.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's having an awful time in Leverkusen, so I wouldn't say that.
Well, OK, so look, let's finish the conversation on next. What next? And I mentioned the word Gareth Southgate just because that had been pumped around all, since he left the England job. Let's just say he does go. Who next, Flex? Because Charlie was sat there for an hour before we came on this morning, and there weren't any names that didn't make us laugh.
I tell you what, and that is I've been so angry at dissecting what happened last night. This is actually the first time I've pivoted to this side of the conversation because you're right. What do you do now at this short notice to be able to have a plan? There's a few days left of the transfer window as well. No pre-season, more chaos, having to change system again, etc., etc. Probably more and more chaos. Look, is it unthinkable to go and get Oliver Glasner? To go and get someone like that? To
Who
go
did
and
you say?
get
Big
Iriola?
Sam?
I don't know.
Big Sam?
Not Big Sam. Absolutely not. Mate, Sean Dyche has been on podcasts saying I'll do better than him. Is it going to be a Sean Dyche? I don't know.
Neil Warnock's available?
It's exactly. He's got a better record than Amorim. But listen,
That's exactly the same, by the way. It's exactly the same.
There you go. Exactly the same. Maybe Gary Neville might want to come back into managing. He might fancy himself having a go again if this is enough to keep your job. But I don't know, guys. I'm really worried about that. In terms of who you get, that is the next part of the conversation where you go, what does that actually look like? You know, what does it actually look like? Because there are no obvious candidates.
Just picking up on that, and there's no obvious candidates, but that's Manchester United in a whole. There is no direction. You have no direction. You're going no direction. You go no ways. You're trying to go left, right, straight, back. You have no idea. The club is going in a standstill and there's nowhere to turn.
Flex, we've got to leave it there, mate. Got to move on. Deep breathing. Deep breathing this morning. Namaste. Just go and relax now, Flex. Go and relax.
Relax. I'm not going to be able to do that for a long time, mate.
If you want to send us a voice note, leave us a message on WhatsApp. Get involved like Flex has done. Simply scan the QR code. It'll take you straight there. Alternatively, you can use the WhatsApp number 07514 917 075 and you can give us your views on X, Instagram and Facebook. Use the hashtag Sky Sports FC.